And now, welcome to the Great Cigar and Pipe Show. Presented by Hiram Solomon Cigars, the Oliva Cigar Family, and the J.C. Newman Cigar Company. Coming to you live from the Corona Cigar Company studios.
Hello, everybody. There we go. Welcome back. It's been a long month, and we are here with our
time of the month.
It is that time. Right, there you go. Not bad, Joey.
4 weeks.
Yes.
How could I forget that? How could I forget?
Very nice. Very nice. Good way to start off, Joey.
Yeah.
So, what do you tell us about it? Go ahead. Say hello, everybody.
What's going on, everybody? Joe Gulino here from Whiskey Network. We're going to be doing an awesome pairing tonight. Obviously, we have. He's going to be giving us the rundown on this High and Wicked Irish rose tattoo expression. It's a cask strength expression from High and Wicked. We'll be pairing that with the Carolina Blue Maduro. Awesome cigar. Hopefully we can get Chris Moore on with us to give us the rundown on his brand and this cigar. And then we have the Whiskey A Go Girl, Jenna Eli, on, who's going to help us out with the whiskey. She's not a cigar smoker, but she'll help us out with the whiskey and give us her thoughts on the whiskey. So that's what we have going on tonight. There is a hashtag, of course, for a whole bottle of this High and Wicked.
And whatever Mr. Moore would want to donate as part of the giveaway.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Carolina Rose.
That's our hashtag.
Nice, Kyle. You know you're very innovative with the hashtags.
Well, these things write themselves. You know, when you get two great companies that come together.
So do my articles. They just kind of write themselves.
I actually thought AI did it, Joe, because
I knew about AI before anybody else did. So. But that's what I do. I do whiskey and cigar pairing reviews on whiskeynetwork.net. You can find that in the Sips and Stogies section of that website. There's probably over 50 different pairing reviews up there if you're interested to find out what kind of cigars to pair with what types of whiskeys. We've been doing this pairing episode now for what, 3 years?
2.5, 3 years almost.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So survival, right?
Survival. Yeah, we can call it that.
Yeah.
Yep. You know, Joe, the one thing that I think we should do is probably introduce ourselves, because there's some new people that may show up.
You think?
Yeah.
New people? Really?
Well, one or two. I don't know.
I might get one or two up there.
Maybe by word of mouth,
so
it gets around.
I'm gonna begin. I'm cousin Frank.
Right.
To my left or to your right is retired Bob.
How you doing, folks?
And
Welcome back.
Over that away is Kyle Jesso.
Coming to you live from Tampa.
And then down there, you see I'm pointing very down there.
Yeah.
Right down there is the one, the only Ronnie Pecorini.
From Australia.
From Australia.
How you doing, mate? How are you tonight?
He is the thunder down under.
But you know what I love about this show is that Joey will text me like in the middle of the day. He'll say, "Hey Frank, you know Joe McEwen from High and Wicked thought it would be great if we could use something from that inspired the whiskey. So you know what, folks, I'm going to play that for you. Why don't you sit back, relax, enjoy this little take, because we're waiting to get Chris Moore from Carolina Blue Cigars on. So why don't you sit back, relax, and enjoy this music video. Chris Moore is here. He's in the green room.
He's in the house.
All right.
We'll be back right after this incredible music video that inspired basically a whiskey. So check this out, folks.
faces tell the story. This life had many shades. I'd wake up every morning, and before I'd start each day, I'd take a drag from last night's cigarette that smoldered in its tray. Down a little something, then be on my way. I traveled far and wide and laid this head in many ports. I was guided by a compass. I saw beauty to the north. I drew the tales of many lives and wore the faces of my own. I had these memories all around me so I wouldn't be alone. Some may be from showing up, others are from growing up. Sometimes I was so messed up and didn't have a clue. I ain't winning no one over. I wear it just for you. I got your name written here in a rose tattoo. In a rose tattoo. In a rose tattoo. I got your name written here in a rose tattoo.
I don't know if that's
whiskey or an imperial pint of stout?
That was Bob in the boxing ring, wasn't it?
Wow.
You know,
Bob actually has the original rose tattoo on his back. I don't know.
On my ass, Joey. On my ass.
you know, I love starting a show with a music video.
Yeah, it's always cool.
You know, I was rocking here. I was getting all psyched.
Reminds me of old MTV, you know?
And then here's the other thing. Now we get the copyright strike on YouTube. So this will be
Yeah,
our final show on YouTube.
Music.
Joey's paying.
Joey's paying for it.
Joey's
Bob
paying.
was popping blue pills the whole time.
Let's bring everybody up onto the stage. Let's get all of
Do the
our
intro.
players onto the stage. You know what? We got to get everybody up because
Right.
let me tell you, we have what I like to call this is a star-studded.
Chris, what's up, my man?
This is a star-studded event.
Yes.
It really is. We got Chris Brown way down there on the lower left. We've got
Yeah,
Anna
Chris.
and his
Chris
visiting-
Brown. Who the hell is Chris Brown?
Chris Moore. No, Chris Moore. No, Chris Brown was he's a halfback.
I mean, let's not act
Hey,
like
drink.
Come on.
Frankism.
I've been drinking. Chris Moore, Mr. Moore. I'm sorry that you know what because I was worried that you weren't going to show up. So I renamed you.
Oh, you know I'm not gonna miss this one. You know I'm not gonna miss this one at all.
All right, Joey, introduce these amazing
First of
people.
all, get the fucking
With
symbol
the
off
proper
my head.
names, Joey. With the proper names.
I like Joey's face is covered. There you go, Joe. I put you from under.
So,
Go
okay,
ahead,
so
Joe.
Chris, since you're last to join, you're going to be last to go, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The best is always last.
There you go.
There you go. There you go. But yeah, we have Joe McEwen here. He's the brand ambassador of High and Wicked here in Illinois. He actually used to sell me whiskey at Binny's, just like Chris used to sell Bob cocaine in the 80s.
Whoa. I never revealed my dealers' names.
Giving up the plug, huh? You ain't from New York. You abolished. You abolished from New York.
You know.
Yeah, we know what the fuck was going on in Queens back in the 80s, motherfuckers.
Hey, Bob, how does he know about that?
Okay, you know what I do? Ronnie, do you know what I do?
Let's go, ladies.
You're a Segway cop in the mall, ready for the
I'm a fact finder, and I'm going to find the facts tonight about this cigar.
Oh, you're a tracker, huh? All right. You know what happened to
Joe,
trackers, right?
Joe, you know what? Joe always has this is Joe's second
Beautiful
appearance
drugs.
on the show. He always has a funny explanation of how he got into whiskey, which is
Oh God, just completely by accident, honestly.
Yeah. Right. I think it was when you got married, you got into whiskey, right?
Kind
You
of.
had to.
Yeah.
You had to.
No, it was more when I was working second and third shift security. I needed something to pass the time while living in the Twin Cities because there was absolutely nothing happening after like 9:30 on any given night in St. Paul.
Yeah, just drink on
So I started actually blogging for a little bit on whiskeys, doing a little bit of cigar pairings here and there.
Hey,
Move
one
back-
second. Frank, I'm going to buy you a spell checker next time.
No,
you're in
listen,
there.
forget about it. Listen, don't pay
It's
attention
been
to
a
the
month,
spelling.
Kyle. Give him a break.
Spelling is hard when you're drunk. Spell check doesn't work.
Spelling only counts for the people who are at the end of the show.
We apologize to our guests.
Don't worry about it. I did
I've come to
spell-
expect nothing more.
I did spell highandwicked.com correctly.
Yes.
There you go. Because you are high and wicked.
Everybody spelled and wrong.
Okay, go ahead, Joe.
So yeah, I came back to Illinois, started working for Benny's, and everything just kind of steamrolled from there. Needed to take a break from retail. During that hiatus, I ran into some individuals from Altamar Brands, the parent company of High and Wicked, namely Brandon Cummins, our director of brand education. And it was just kind of like, hey, you know our brands, you're pretty enthusiastic, you know what you're talking about most of the time, you want to do some stuff with us. I was like, sure, why not? And now here I am.
Nice.
All right.
Nice. So Joey, tell us a little bit about Jenna, because I want Jenna to introduce herself, because I love her story and her brand, because again, being a female in the industry, again, I like to get her take on a whiskey because it's usually very different. Hey, Chris. Stop knocking shit over there. Chris.
Oh, yeah.
That's starting up the Harley.
That was my mic check, so it works good. Okay.
Let's go with that. I like that story.
So Jenna, tell us a little bit about your journey in the whiskey kind of segment of the market.
Sure. So I have been in the world of whiskey for almost a decade, which is absolutely insane to say. But I got into whiskey via my husband. So we were living in Los Angeles at the time, and he is a tattoo artist. And the shop that he had in Los Angeles was above a bar, and he is a barfly. And so he made really great friends with the entire staff downstairs, a bar called Plan Check. And he ended up buying off the bar program there because they were closing down and bringing it home. And I did not drink at the time. I had maybe a glass of $2 Chuck at Christmas, and that was like the extent of me drinking. But he brought home literal crates full of whiskeys and rums and gins and all kinds of just incredible liquids. And it was one night he was drinking an 80s Macallan 18 that just happened to be a crate of whiskeys that he brought home, and he had this grin on his face, and I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
I'll drink some of that with you, so pour me some. And I believe it was like around the holidays. And I remember tasting that Macallan 18, and I don't know, it was like that ratatouille moment where like just there was lightning happening all around me. I didn't understand how a whiskey could taste like that. Like that wasn't whiskey. That was something just so like out of body. And I fell in love with it, and I wanted to know more about it. And quite frankly, I just wanted to know more than he did. And so I started Whiskey A Go Girl, and just kind of went on this journey of learning everything and anything I possibly could about the world of whiskey. And over the last 10 years, I have served as the National Ambassador to the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society of America. That's really where I cut my teeth on the world of whiskey. So cask strength whiskey is my heart. Really, cask strength Scotch whiskey is really kind of the heart of what started my career in this industry. And then most recently, I was the National Brand Development Manager for Shand Import, a small import company based out in California. But I recently left last month, and I'm kind of embarking on my own thing now here in whiskey. But I mean, I've judged competitions. I've been in whiskey documentaries and films, and some that have been out called The Water of Life, and then a new series called Independent Spirits, all about the world of independent bottling, which is really exciting.
Yes.
And a new one later this year, all about the world of Japanese whiskey, which is really cool. But yeah, I just want to know everything and explore everything that the world of whiskey has to offer. And I love talking about it and sharing my just emphatic love for it. So I'm excited to be here to do exactly that. So thanks for having me.
All right. So what are your thoughts on the whiskey for first impression?
Yeah.
So I haven't tasted it yet. I was waiting for this moment to taste it.
We'll let you get to that. Joe, what makes Irish whiskey so different or special?
So that's going to be a little bit of a long-winded answer.
Loaded question.
Simply because with the High and Wicked brand, we're looking to showcase spirits that are not what you normally associate with that style of whiskey. Right. So, like with our bourbon, we've got this really big, bold, spicy bourbon that is 51% corn, 39 rye. We've got this really dynamic rye whiskey coming out of Kentucky as well. That first hit, you get all these big orchard fruit notes, and then you get this really nice baking spice on the back end of it. And then with Irish whiskey, we wanted to get out there and see what aren't people, especially in the U.S., seeing with Irish whiskey that's honestly coming into its own right now after almost going extinct as a category. So with our Irish whiskeys, while our rye and our bourbon is contract distilled with our own little touches on it, Irish, we decided to pair up with Noel Sweeney. former master distiller and blender of Cooley Distillery, 2017 UK whiskey Hall of Fame inductee. The man even, helped write some of the rules and regulations that goes into the designation of Irish whiskey today. The dude is completely mastered in the category. So it initially started off with him coming to us with some barrels of Irish single malt, and wanted to do something different with it, something that you're not seeing out there on the market, something that isn't just, a typical, just all ex-bourbon barrel, things like that. So our first expression that we released was Wild Rover, which was this really big, bold Irish single malt cask strength finished in Pedro Jimenez sherry casks. That was a 2-time cask strength Irish whiskey award winner. Then we've released a couple of single grains as well that we've done with Knoll. First one was Aeneas Coffee, named after the taxman that basically created the patent still that we know today. That was a really beautiful single grain, so 95% corn, 5% malted barley, finished in Madeira cask. Then we had our next release, which was Foursquare, which is our Irish single grain that was then finished in Foursquare rum casks out of Barbados. And then our current release is Rose Tattoo. And this one is, again, another cask strength Irish single malt, triple distilled, that was finished in Italian Amarone wine casks for 8 months.
And that's what I was going to say, that there is a distinct, that's that sweetness that comes from an Amarone Italian wine, which is, again, anybody who knows that what an Amarone vintage is, it's basically they dry the grape almost like a raisin. And it is so, there's that sweetness to this. Yeah, it's very different. It makes it very unique. I haven't tasted a whiskey like this ever, to be honest.
And that's the idea. Thank you. Yeah, when Noel came up with the idea, we're pretty much hands off on this. We let Noel do his thing. He's the genius with Irish. He got some barrels from Famiglia Pasqua out of Italy. They produce some of the best Amarone wines in the market, and I think we can all agree we're all pretty happy with the outcome was on this.
Oh my God! Oh, totally. This is so unique.
Yeah.
Jen, have you had a chance?
It's fucking exceptional.
No, right?
Hey, it's a family show. Hey.
For full, honesty and disclosure, I'm a massive Irish whiskey fan. I think the world of Irish whiskey is so incredibly special, and I can cry and emote and get very into my feels when I talk about the world of Irish whiskey, because I think that, honestly, in my opinion, I came into the industry on the shoulders of Scotch whiskey, and that will never be my heart. But I think that Ireland is making I know in my heart that Ireland is making some of the just most exceptional world-class whiskey at this moment. I encourage every single person I talk to explore the world of Irish whiskey, because these whiskeys are exceptional, and they have kind of a bad rap, which, Joe, I'm sure you can kind of tap into and talk about.
They're also very dangerous because they're so smooth.
Right.
Even this cask strength, just
is
smooth. Yeah.
Exceptional.
Yeah. I'm speechless because, again, I've never tasted anything really like this. So for me, this is completely unique. And with this cigar by my man Chris Moore over there at Carolina Blue. Now, this is a Maduro, which obviously skews chocolate, dark chocolate completely. Now you take the Amarone, which is kind of, I'm going to bring it like a deep cherry to this. I mean, deep, completely you're embarked on. Yes. I mean, this is like a cherry chocolate cake.
It reminds me of those little cordials that you used to get, those chocolate-covered cherries.
Yeah, totally.
It reminds me of.
For me, I got a big apricot on the
apricot. No, I got
apricot
the
cherry. I got cherry.
I got the cherry.
Yeah. I'm gonna kind of piggyback off the back of that, Joe, because for me, it smells like somebody spilled peach tea in a shoe shine box.
Oh,
nose and palate match really beautifully on things. I think there's a lot of that like kind of stone fruit kind of.
Right. There's on the nose. There's some creaminess, and there's even like some like clove kind of thing going on in the background there on the nose.
Yeah, I'm in the same kind of ballpark as you, and I think that the texture and the mouthfeel and like the viscosity of this whiskey is like weighty, and it's like it gets into every kind of nook and cranny of your palate, and it like lingers for a while. So
it's thick, sweet, and creamy like me.
Okay, let's move on, folks.
We need a pause. We need a pause in that one.
Chris, step right up, Chris. Step right up. We need come on, Chris. Tell me a little more. Take the pause,
need a pause on that one right there.
So Chris, tell me a little bit about this Maduro and why it's so special in your lineup, because you have, listen, Chris has a great lineup of cigars over at Carolina Blue Cigars. So every cigar that I have ever smoked of Chris's has been exceptional. So to pair this with this whiskey at this time, so it's kind of like an Irish Italian flavor bomb, and add a little more to it, meaning Chris more. So Chris, talk to me about this blend, because this is a special blend.
I like that. I like that little smooth swooze over there. You are from Queens. I like that. Just getting the note, because I didn't have the whiskey. He just sent me the notes, and I know originally you guys wanted to do the platinum, and just reading the notes, I'm like, platinum's not going to work because of how sweet it was, and just kind of. So the only thing that I had was the Maduro. This one is like this is like from my first batch. So this cigar is probably like almost going on 4 years old. So it's actually gotten better in time. So it's the one that's naturally sweet in general, because it just gives off all of the different fruit elements from DR. So I'm like, okay. The crazy part is, after I got his sample, I just took a little bit and I went through like 4 different cigars to see which one, to see if this was the one, just from my, and I tried them all, and I'm like, yeah, this is the one, because it's gonna transition 2 more times. I think you might have smoked it previously, or may have not have, but it's gonna transition again. You're gonna get another note from it. For me, it's when I first got it, I'm like, I'm smelling pears, so that was kind of mixing with the guava and a sense from the cigar, the sweetness that it's giving, because it kind of changes its notes a little bit. I always kind of say that in experiences, some libations will change the actual tasting notes from a dry smoke. You know what I'm saying? So this one actually changed. Like in the beginning, when and it could have been something I was eating that day. So the first time I tried it together, I got a lot of a nutty flavor. So then I just cleaned off my palate, and again, and then I started tasting the dry fruits that you guys were talking about, the peaches, the apricots, all of that stuff, except the peaches are not grown in DR, but apricots are grown there. So that's, with the chocolatey notes, the floral notes, then it just merged together. So it was just a matter of me knowing my cigars, that I knew this one would work, because it wasn't like and I never had Irish whiskey before, which was odd. Now I'm going to get some. So
crazy, because he's like 100% Irish.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, exactly. So I actually got a bottle in. I'm like, okay, this is working, and it's actually very smooth, because I thought it would give me like, a little bite on the back. So that's what I was like, it's gonna overpower the cigar, and it doesn't. It just goes.
No, not at all.
No,
it goes.
No, it doesn't
straight.
At all.
And I'm glad I didn't send you the platinum, because it wouldn't have worked.
Right. No, that was one of the main things with this pairing, was how boldness level of the cigar. Because in my opinion, it's a medium plus.
Right.
At minimum, it's pretty, especially in the back end.
Right.
I know, Chris, you like to ramp things up on the back end.
Right.
Because you don't like to be like a front loader cigar, right?
Right.
So, you definitely get that. It's kind of, and then you get this cask strength whiskey, and everything just kind of marries up, especially
all together. Yeah.
You did get pretty buzzed when I was doing the pairing. I'm not smoking because I'm inside. I had some issues with I'm in the Windy City, so my microphone isn't working outside too well. But I do know that there is a hashtag for those that chimed in late. Kyle, if you want to throw that up, you're going to have a chance at winning an entire bottle of this rose tattoo.
Yes, and Chris, you want to throw in something? Maybe a couple of Maduros for these people to try with this? Why not?
Sure. Oh, you got me a hashtag. Look at that, Carolina Rose. I'm gonna have to trademark that.
You heard it here first, folks, right on this show.
You know, Chris, ever since we first met, this is years ago. Jeez, It's been a long time. How long you've been in business now?
This is my 9th year.
Damn.
Wow.
It's my 9th year.
I know it's been about 6 years. I know we go back. We have that connection to Carolina. I lived in North Carolina for many years. And, you know, the one thing I could say about Chris is his dedication to the craft. It's not like he just puts his, you know, it's not, he's not the kind of guy.
Say it.
He goes out there and he goes to the factory. He's so involved in the blending that these are truly an expression of his love and passion of cigar smoking. Each and every cigar is really packed with his personality. It really is, Chris. Right. It truly is. It's something that is really special to see, because after 9 years, and I think we've known each other about 6 now, it's amazing, because each and every time you put out a cigar, I say, boy, this man just never ends. It just never stops. He puts out great cigars, and that's a tribute to your passion for the industry and your brand. I mean, thank you for sharing it with us and with everyone out there who's a cigar smoker, because, again, being a boutique is not easy, right, Chris? It's a tough job. You got to go up against some big players, right? So in order to distinguish himself, he can't put out a bad cigar. And he knows that. He knows that he has to keep producing great cigars. And he does that.
And that is an art in itself, to keep putting out something that is better than the last one.
Right.
You know, I mean, that's very difficult.
It is
very difficult.
What do we got going for the blend here, Chris?
Yeah, tell us about this.
But I tell you, I gotta kill you. No. I gotta take it down to 14th Street Pier and drop you in. This one is it's pretty much all Dominican. It's a Dominican San Andreas with a Corolla 98 binder, MVA filler, and 3 other fillers in there from DR, just typical fillers from DR. But the MVA, which is a local seed that we use there, and the Corolla 98 kind of meshes together to give you like once you get into the cigar, you're going to really get the peppery taste. But the MVA is the one that's going to actually give you giving you the floral notes. That's one that's giving you the floral notes. And of course, you know, this particular Maduro is, if I remember correctly, it's more like an end of season Maduro, so it's not as dark, as it you usually look. And I like it to be natural. Everybody like, it's not dark.
It's natural. No, this is nice.
Right.
I love
this
it.
is probably the lightest Maduro I've ever seen.
Yes, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah. I mean, I love the toothiness of it. You know, there's that natural part of this.
It's bold looking too, with that toothiness on there.
Yes.
You know,
the change in the notes. I mean, from the dry draw, I had nothing but dark chocolate right away.
There's many transitions in this cigar that will
it's changed so much.
I mean, because now I'm getting a lot of that baking spice, big time baking spice, and it's almost, Joey, if you took the apricot and you made now an apricot pie with that crust, that beautiful crust. This is just a baker's special, a peach pie.
Delight.
delight.
A real delight.
We lost. I think Jenna said, you know what? These people are crazy. I'm bailing. No, but she'll be back, I'm sure. She'll
Hey,
find
not for
her way
anything,
back.
Frank. I'm going to hold you guys up. I don't know if you look in the comments. Our Facebook page is down. I've been trying to notify everybody, send them over to YouTube.
No,
Facebook is
up.
totally down.
No, it
Oh,
isn't.
wow.
Facebook is up.
We're up on Facebook, but everybody's losing out. I'm getting text messages, and everybody's shifting over
Send
to
them over
YouTube right
to
now.
YouTube. Yeah, send
I'm
them
trying
over
to do that, but something is up right now. We're not showing on YouTube.
No, Facebook.
It's
you know,
not surprising. Facebook has now it has changed its algorithm.
Well, no, you know what they have?
Extensively.
Well, they're going to be
Extensively
crashing everybody's.
Yeah.
In June, they are basically going to dump everyone's videos and free up some space on their servers.
Did you pay your tariff?
So Jenna says that the storms by her are pretty intense and her Wi-Fi dropped.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
Where's she at?
Is she still in California?
Oh, she's in California.
No, I believe down by Atlanta, I believe.
Oh yeah. It's storming. Yeah, it's storming in this
Out
area.
of California. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, the one thing I have to say, Joe McEwen, the high and wicked, this expression. So typically, an Irish whiskey doesn't have this type of sweetness, I'll say, to it. I mean, I know some of the orange things that they do, and you know that they'll kind of be. It doesn't really have this
that cold filtering that they are.
This is definitely going to be that Amarone cask finish.
Yeah. The Amarone is definitely coming through.
Oh, big
I mean, at the core of it, you still get those hallmarks, those really honey, nutty notes, Irish single malt. But that Amarone, again, like it adds just a little bit of tannin that balances out the oiliness of the malt.
Yes.
But then you're also getting these beautiful layers of, like you said, you know, a lot of dark cherry notes to it. You get a lot of blackberry, blueberry. You get also really nice, subtle dry cocoa notes as well, which I think complement the cigar beautifully.
Right.
Yeah. Even on the dry draw on this cigar, I got like that Nesquik chocolate milk flavor.
Yes.
I lean towards Hershey on that one.
Yeah, he's a Hershey guy. Just because we have a sponsorship through Hershey, we don't work with Nestle.
But the thing about it on these is the dry draw is totally different than when you light.
Totally.
So when you're gonna get, and that's one thing I noticed. This is probably the only cigar that has a draw like that. Is on the dry, especially because you're not gonna smell it. If you know, some people like to smell on the dry, so you're not gonna smell anything until you light it. And once you light it, then the aroma just changes the whole cigar. The heat just changes it, and it's just. I tell people like this is a flavor bomb. So
immediately I got like a dose of like roasted coffee notes on the foot smoke odor.
Right.
Yes,
that was delicious.
Yeah.
And then like on the first puff, I got like a burst of like vanilla coated pistachios on that first puff. It was very interesting. Where's that note coming from?
Well, they grow pistachios in DR.
That's right.
Okay, yeah.
Hey, Joey, would you say this is like an Irish coffee? Kind of like a little Irish coffee going on here.
You know, with the pairing, we got
creaminess.
Got that creaminess. Yeah.
No, absolutely.
See, like for me, when I go from cigar to the whiskey, I get like a dark chocolate covered like lemon shortbread cookie.
Oh,
very nice. Very nice. Yeah.
I get that cherry cordial.
Right.
But it's changing.
Yeah, but it changed a lot from the beginning. It's incredible.
In the first third of the cigar,
rapidly.
Did you guys get a little bit like a hint of leatheriness going on there? After that pistachio kind of thing. So right away we get a transition in the first third of the cigar.
Yes.
Oh yeah. And that's how all most I can say. I can't even think of one. That's one of my signatures. I always want the cigar smoker to get an experience from the foot to the shoulder.
Right.
You know, I'm not gonna just give you something like it just be very linear. I'm gonna give you at least 2 transitions but I work on 3.
There's another transition that
Yeah, it's at least 3.
Yeah.
It's at least
Chris,
3.
we got a question for you. I was looking at the Carolina Blue website. Do they only sell samplers, or do they bundle, or do you do any bundles of any one cigar? If so, is that the only is that only for brick and mortars?
Well, right now I'm actually revamping the website. I know people go on there all the time. I'm trying to make it very detailed. One thing I didn't do earlier, it's just very difficult. So now I have a web designer. So every cigar is going to be on the site, detailed, not extensive notes, but just tell you what it's made of, so you can have a better idea what you're getting, the smoke level, whatever. But yeah, we do it. If you see something you like, or you see something you want right at this moment, just DM me, and I'll get back with you and get you what you want. Because right now we're going through that little transition, getting the photos right. Like now I'm gonna take some of the stuff that you guys sent me, what we talked about tonight, I'm gonna add it to this cigar. I'm gonna try to add different libations on there for different people, like just so you have a range of what it can go with. So usually, to be honest with you, I smoke this and I drink Diplomatico with this because it's sweeter and it'll bring out another side. And lately I've been drinking barrel bourbon, seagrass and dovetail. So that gives me another whole experience as well. So now I can add this to the list.
So Tony Demetrius says, are there any Carolina Blue cigars in Mass, in MA?
I've never. Yeah, when he buys some, they'll be up there.
What's the best way people can get your cigars if they're not?
Just for now, just go to Instagram, or you can send me an email, Chris at Carolina Blue Cigars, saying you was on the show. I want to try, this one or that one. Probably in the next 3 or 4 days, I'll have all the cigars on there, so you can just see everything. To be totally transparent, I'm trying to move away from DTC, but the option is still there by contacting us directly.
Perfect. You got the guys over at Big Fella's Mobile Cigar Lounge. They want to get them. So listen, they want your cigars. So you guys are going to have to hook up, because Brian, he's got a great lounge. It's a mobile lounge. It kind of reminds me of a Art Deco speakeasy. It's a great mobile lounge. So you got to get it over to him, Chris, because those cigars are going to fly off his shelf for sure. So
well, the next ones are going to probably be even better than these.
Wow! Whoa, look at you!
Oh, yeah. Even better.
Yeah, the next, because what I'm playing with 2 different Vitolas. This is a 54 Vitola. I'm playing with a 50 and a 52. So the smaller Vitola should give you more flavor, but so I'm playing with the percentages to bring out even more notes. So I'm gonna probably have 2 Vitolas in this one. The 54 because it's a classic, everybody loves it. But I'm trying to get to the 52 or the 50, the one that's just gonna explode in your mouth with flavors. The crazy part is, everybody knows everybody likes flavored cigars. So I don't have those at all. But what I do is I say, try this one because I'm gonna give you something naturally sweet. And and this cigar has converted a lot of.
Anybody getting hazelnut in that first?
Yes.
There you go.
Hazelnut for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
without a doubt, because I get that hazelnut coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had a chance to retrohale the cigar yet?
Oh, of course. What do you think we do?
The first puff.
It was just packed with like notes of like baseball mitt leather, and like vanilla wafers with on the first third I did get like a perfect little kiss of spice on the finish.
Right. Very light. And you know what's nice about it is, a lot of times when people will retrohale, it'll blow people's mind. They're like, whoa, it's too much. It's too this.
Not
too
this
that.
cigar.
No, this cigar has a creaminess to it, a velvety kind of finish on it that gives you all. See, people don't realize that when you retrohale is when you get to a chance to truly experience
Yes.
every nuance that the cigar has to offer.
Yes.
So your time, we're not talking about inhaling, we're talking about retrohaling, which is different. And this paired with this Irish whiskey will give you that, like I said, it's like an Irish coffee.
Right. So
creaminess.
The first direction of a pairing that I do in my articles is smoking a cigar and then going to the whiskey. Here, and this is based on my notes that I've previously written down from the pairing, we get extremely sweet bursts of chocolate-infused candied apricots, followed up with beautifully mellowing and lingering spice that holds the sweet flavors of this pairing direction on the palate.
Yes. Yeah, that back second third to the back of the second third is gonna really amp up. Then you're gonna really taste a whole different nuance of it. And that's the thing, is the retro, like some people just smoke the smoke, but the retro will bring out something. It can bring out something totally different in the cigar, which you know that you might be smoking. It might just bring out, depends what you're drinking. It might just bring out all the earth, or it might just bring out all the floral. And a lot of people don't realize that, and that's what I try when I'm out. I try to educate people on that. It's like, you might be drinking the wrong spirit because you're not getting the right, it might not, you might like a particular brand of spirit, but it may not work with that cigar. So I try to steer people into a direction of what the cigar is going to do. So did a different, spirits, so they will actually get an experience. So
and what I noticed about your cigar is, so I was smoking this here in the Windy City, and the cigar construction, the burn was perfect, the ash was perfect. Who's rolling your cigars nowadays? Because I know you've bounced around a little bit.
No, I've only bounced around once. I'm very loyal. So El Fuente and DR makes my my Dominican cigars, and we also have we use AJ's tobacco for our Nicaraguan cigars. So those are the two.
Good
I have no
combination.
reason, to jump anywhere, and because I pretty much have total control of what I want to do, and if I'm looking for tobacco, because we grow our own tobacco. So if I'm looking for something that we don't have, like maybe Pennsylvania broadleaf, some Connecticut broadleaf, some Brazilian Aparaca, they're gonna go look for it to balance out a new cigar that I'm trying to do. So that's why I'm like, I'm not going anywhere,
So getting into the second third of the cigar, that hazelnut note really dominates the second third of the cigar, and then you get some nice like wood notes in the background there on the finish. On the retro, that spice kind of went away. Right. Yeah. But it was like jam packed with like creamy and bold, like that baseball mitt leather on that retro hill. And I for me, my favorite note on a cigar is leather, and of course my precious marzipan. But then you get a transition there in that second third, and those like nutty, lingering like pistachio notes kind of return to the situation. So that was pretty cool to experience that as I ran through the cigar.
Oh yeah,
I love that. So you guys getting that on that second third?
Well, it's interesting because just now I've been experiencing eating nuts, because I was allergic to many different nuts. Even Bob, I was allergic to Bob, but I'm now sitting next to him. But I've been able to experience like Brazil nuts, almonds, macadamia nuts, and this kind of reminds me a little bit of a almond.
There you go.
Kind of almond paste.
Yeah, toasted almonds.
Yeah, toasted almonds, but kind of, if you can imagine it in a crust, kind of like a smoky crusted almond, dipped in some chocolate, and then add a little bit of peach to that, and
just very complex cigar. If you love Maduros, which I love, I could smoke Maduros every day, even in the beginning of the day with my coffee.
Absolutely, yes.
This is a Maduro you want to get your hands on, because you're going to get so many transitions and complexity with this Maduro. A lot of Maduros, you just get like that chocolate note, and it's kind of one dimensional.
Right. This is not.
Here, Chris is just taking you on a journey, man. Just back and forth. Here comes another transition. Oh man, that note was in the beginning of the cigar. Now it's in the second third of the cigar, going into the third. But the second direction of a pairing is sipping the whiskey and then going to the cigar. And in my note here, I have those sweet orangey and spicy apricot notes are mellowed by a layer of the cigar's creamy milk chocolate. Both flavors marry and linger on the palate with a beautiful dose of leather on the finish. And I wrote here, this direction of the pairing is definitely my jam.
Yes, I think when you're going from the spirit right to the cigar,
that's where it's at.
It gets pushed to another level. Absolutely,
the cigar stands by itself. You don't even have to. Need the whiskey to change the notes. No, it's an incredible smoke by itself. It really is.
It is. But it's only enhanced by the high and wicked. It's got to be that Amarone that's doing something.
It has to be.
Me.
It has
that sweetness of the Amarone and the chocolatiness and leatheriness of the cigar is just doing something.
The Amarone is almost like putting a little bit of sugar in your whiskey.
Yeah,
you know, it just brings out that sweetness. It's incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, this really is an expression that every person has to have as far as a drink. This high-end whiskey, I would recommend to everyone because it's a whiskey that is tolerable for every whiskey palate. Every whiskey.
Joe, where are we going to find this whiskey then?
Where are we going to find it?
So it's going to be at most major retailers. Again, it is starting to roll out right now. As soon as I have more information, I mean, get to me with your market.
Hey, Chris, you're getting the exclusive here, my man.
Yeah, Chris. I mean, you're jumping into the ground floor.
I was hunting it down.
Like our Irish whiskeys in particular, is that these are singular limited expressions.
Right.
So once this is done, it's done. Same
so
thing.
How many bottles are being bottled for this?
That is a great question. I don't have that off the top of my head, but I'll get
that information. Not enough.
So
not enough. Let's say not enough.
Jenna's got turned on by it, so it's good.
What series is this? Because I know they made a couple different series, right? Didn't they make a couple?
What is the retail at?
Retail on that one, depending on market. I mean, I've seen it anywhere going from 125 to 150.
Okay.
You know what? It drinks like $120 bottle.
Yeah, it does.
That Amarone finish on there is special.
Listen, folks, if you're used to drinking Jameson, forget about it.
Jameson.
That is exactly what because that's probably the only Irish whiskeys I've ever.
Right.
And I put it in. So I'm like, once he sent me the notes, I'm like, no, this is something totally. I mean, I did extensive research, and I actually was looking for like somebody owed me some money in Brooklyn. And
that would be Bob from the 80s.
Yeah, I was looking for my money. And then I found it in. And then I went to, where you got yours from, Tasters. I think it's Tasters, wherever you Taster or something. And I ordered it from there. I'm like, because I went to a shop that I always go to. They have some of the most exclusive whiskeys in this area. Then I looked at another place that sells like some whiskey from like 1920. And it's a place here called Crumpleton that they have like everything, but they don't have this. So
Bob
I was like,
that whiskey from 1920, by the way.
Absolutely, that's when I started drinking, Joey.
Yeah.
And really, I mean, people associate Irish whiskey. I think it's the public's lack of knowledge about Irish whiskeys. They kind of that's the one whiskey that they see out there.
Frank.
Right.
It's never been pushed.
When it comes to Irish whiskey, like
from
my understanding, there's like the least restrictive laws surrounding how you make Irish whiskey. So things can get kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
There's still a lot of set rules. I would say the biggest difference in Irish whiskey production is cask types. So with Irish whiskey, it just has to be aged in a wooden cask. What that wood is completely up to the distiller. But you still have set rules when it comes to distillation, proof points. Depending on what type of grain, if you're doing single malt, single pot still, if you're doing a blend, if you're doing single grain, you've got rules to adhere to. It still has to be aged minimum 3 years. It has to be aged in Ireland. It has to be, I believe, bottled in Ireland as well. Don't quote me on that one yet, because I think there's a little bit of leeway on that.
Now, Joe McEwen, how long are they actually living inside of that Amarone cask?
For the Amarone cask, it's only 8 months.
Okay.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Wow.
Let me tell you, whoever decided that 8 months was the amount, I mean, that's a perfect amount, because
I mean that, again, all the credit for that goes back to Noel. Again, we're letting him work his magic. This guy has an ability to showcase Irish whiskeys in a way that really aren't being seen.
You come to it at 6 months, and he's probably like, "Let it ride." Or
let it ride.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Okay, this is good. Let's yank it, get it out of there." Because, Jenna, what kind of distinguished this expression from the rest for you as far as Irish whiskeys go?
I think that this is kind of a complete whiskey, and I could probably, explain this in the simplest forms. I think that nose and palate match really beautifully on this, although I love whiskeys where nose and palate don't match. But I think you have just real depth in both nose and palate, so you could really sit and just nose this for
right. And you know what, Jenna is nailing it on the head here. Everything just kind of comes full circle on your palate.
It really does.
Yeah.
And I think that you could literally have a full night's worth of conversation just nosing this whiskey. And you taste the whiskey, and yes, it's at cask strength. It's at the 19.8 proof. It's, cask strength that you think, oh my God, I'm about to have a whiskey that's almost 120 proof, but then you taste it and it's silky and it's like soft on the palate, and that mouthfeel and that texture in the whiskey is really exceptional. And I think that this is just a testament to the quality of Irish whiskey that's coming out right now. And I think if anybody gets an opportunity out there, if you're listening to this, if you get an opportunity to taste this, I hope, if anything, that this encourages you to continue to explore the world of Irish whiskey, because yes, Jameson is, when people think of Irish whiskey, that's the first thing that many people think of. But yes, Jameson has, carried the industry for a very long time, but there are some absolutely exceptional, I cannot scream this loud enough, exceptional producers of whiskey in Ireland right now. And I hope that this whiskey, which is absolutely, please go out and buy this. Please find this, go buy it. I will be doing the same. This is an absolutely exceptional just piece of work.
And likewise, this is an exceptional Maduro, guys. Getting back into the cigar, the final third of the cigar, it just kind of becomes like a full-on glass of Nesquik chocolate milk, followed up with those awesome leathery notes on the finish, some woodiness, and that's that Dominican Republic tobacco. You get that oakiness, that woodiness, and we've kind of noticed that pattern when we come across a Dominican blend. But the final direction of a pairing is actually, and maybe somebody can demonstrate this for me, is actually taking a puff of your cigar and just blowing that cigar smoke right into it works best in a Glencairn. It holds the smoke. You switch your whiskey a little bit, and everything mixed up there. In this direction, cigar smoked whiskey, it's really in your face. It's like another explosion of that sweet smoked apricots with chocolatey leather, and that lingering spicy finish. It's just absolutely delicious. Everything just kind of comes together. The boldness levels line up here on this cask strength whiskey with a medium. I'm going to say this is a medium plus, or even a full bold cigar. Overall, I think this is very bold and extremely sweet and creamy pairing. It's dominated by candied apricots, chocolate, leather, spice, and everything real nice. The boldness levels of the cigar and the whiskey pair perfectly. In my opinion, this would be a great pairing for the summertime.
Yes, totally. I mean, Joe, this is like going out to the campfire. When you smoke, when you take that and blow the smoke into the Glencairn, it's like going to the campfire and taking marshmallows, dipping the marshmallow in some apricot juice, and then letting it sizzle, and then pulling it out and just taking a little.
And again, I've done over 50 pairing reviews, and this is a very special pairing.
Very unique and very, very special. Mm-hmm. Again, Joe, I don't know how you do this. Month
you know what? I give credit to the professionals here. I just all I do is smoke and drink.
That's true. That's true.
That's all you do.
I'm gonna thank
he
the
AIs
other
everything else
and Chris, because they're the ones responsible for being able to give us these expressions and allow us the opportunity to smoke and drink them in a way that most people are, I hate to say it, aren't able to. I mean, listen, this whiskey, when it hits the shelf, just buy it. I mean, $100, $120
$130 What's the price point on the cigar?
$14.
So, I mean, you were looking at a superb pairing experience.
Absolutely.
For under $140.
Yes. So, and you can drink it and smoke them. I mean, you get a couple of cigars, you'll be able to finish a bottle with maybe 3 cigars. What do you think, Joe?
Oh, I'd finish the bottle with no cigars.
But look how long we've been on, and look, I mean, almost an hour's worth, and I'm halfway through.
Very slow burning,
unbelievable,
especially in the final third of that cigar.
Yes.
Everything just comes to a standstill.
Yeah,
and then you just sit back and you just enjoy that Carolina Blue experience.
Well, and what it does is it really, Chris, what it does is it channels.
Oh yeah,
it brings in the entire cigar and allows you to have it all at a much deeper, and you just are like, oh my God, the creaminess is still there. So even at the second third, you would think the last third, the final third, you think it would be almost too strong. It's not. It's perfect. It's
got to be better than that rum bullshit.
I know, right? Yeah.
No, and
Chris, you did a great job.
And you make and that's again goes back to, it's when I tell people, like, for all my cigars, I'm like, do not hot box a cigar. Smoke it slow, let it burn on its own.
Right. Well, if you hot box this, you're gonna get fucked up.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Don't, and you're gonna miss about 5 notes that I'm trying to let you explore.
Right.
And it's
that's like me just chugging this cask strength bottle.
Right. You're just going down.
That's normal.
Right.
And the thing about it is it doesn't sit on your palate. It's very light on your palate, but it dances on your palate, and then it dissipates. It lets you come back and get another experience. And that's
it's like the
fermentation. Yeah, exactly. It's just the fermentation process that we do. We take it to the limit.
Both the blend of the cigar comes full circle on the palate. This Irish whiskey comes full circle on the palate.
Right.
And they just keep marrying, and you just want to keep going. You salivate on the palate there.
The salivation is crazy.
Both of them. Both
crazy. The whiskey lets you, again, you don't even have to take a sip of water because my mouth is overly salivating from the whiskey. It is just, it's continuous. And that mouthfeel, like Jenna was explaining, it encapsulates your entire palate, where each and every I feel like my tongue is like in harmony in a way that it really doesn't usually do this. It just, every part of my tongue is experiencing.
But your palate is clean.
Yo, totally.
Your palate is very clean.
That's what Chris was saying.
On this Irish whiskey.
Oh my God, the
that is like the creamiest nose I've ever experienced on an Irish.
But on the palate, on your tongue, it's the same way. There is zero burn. Zero.
No, there's no burn whatsoever.
There is no burn on this. I mean, it's kind of crazy.
Right, it is. It's a crazy pairing. Kyle, you ready for that hashtag?
Yeah, throw that hashtag.
Oh yeah.
Up.
It's 9 o'clock.
Just tell them to get back to it.
Damn.
Everybody, look at that hashtag. Make sure you get it in for the prize tonight, folks.
Wow. I mean, this
sure you got it right.
That's another exceptional pairing by
Carolina
the Wizard. the wizard of pairing it's Joe. I think he's behind the curtain.
Oh,
he's behind the curtain.
Oh man, come on, look how much weight he gained. Now you just built his head up even bigger.
I love Joe.
That head is going to be like on the
crazy, baby.
I know. This is so creamy. It's crazy.
I'm gonna have to give you guys some, as we say, kudos. You know me. I don't really toot my horn as far as what I make.
Come on, be queens, baby. Tell us the way it is.
But you guys, I mean, like now, I'm at the point where, you know how smaller. I don't even call myself a boutique anymore. Smaller manufacturers, you know, we kind of like sit in the back and like, all right. I tell people this, and I've been doing it lately. I don't care what you bring out on the shelf in any shop. Let's go stick for stick,
right?
And let's see what we're gonna do. I mean, because like I said, I'm always trying to evolve to the next cigar. You know, whoever's coming out with something now, not like I'm trying to make something like theirs. I'm just trying to create a new experience. You know, trying to play with different tobacco, because I'm all about, you know, this is a lifestyle in a sense where a lot of people, you know, have a libation or have a coffee or whatever they do, and I want them to enjoy what they spent their money on. I can put a cigar out in a month. I can give you a Ligero, you know, headbanger if that's what you want, but I don't want to give you that. I want to give you something where, you know what, this relaxes me on my way home or after I got off work or after that steak or whatever it is. Every cigar sits on its own. Every single cigar I don't have anything that is close to the next thing. Everything sits by themselves, depending on what your profile is. If you like earthy, I got earthy. If you like floral, I got floral. You know, I don't really make anything really, really strong. Well, I have one that's strong that I'm gonna put back in production, but that strong cigar is gonna give you flavor as well. So I'm gonna give you something strong with flavor. Not many people have something strong with flavor, so I'm gonna give you that. And like I said, it's Carolina Blue. We've been around, you know, for a little while, and it's time for everybody to you know, take note of the creations that we're doing in DR and Nicaragua. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. This cigar is actually on the lower end of what we do. The reason why it's evolved so well, it's been aging for a while, and even more flavors has been coming out, because in the beginning, of course, it tastes a little different. It did have the nuances, but now I have even more flavor with the cigar. So that's why I want to give something in a smaller vitola that's going to be even more concentrated flavor, that's going to just take you to another level. So that's what I'm kind of working on now.
You know,
have you thought about a larger cigar though, like a Gordo?
It didn't work. I'm gonna send you. Matter of fact, I'm gonna send you guys something that I made in a 60 that I just finished, and it's going to it has flavor, but it's a lot more of the baker spice, a little bit more peppery. It has the floral notes, but not as deep as this, because you know the larger you get, some of the stuff is going to go. Yeah. So, but we did give you more of the chocolatey notes, a lot more of the pepper, the leather. That is more prominent in a larger gauge.
Yeah,
I'll look forward to that one.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Chris, thank you again for coming on tonight, sharing your story. You know, it's important for people to understand that smaller craft-made cigars, as you put it, are out there and that are competing, and not only competing with the big boys, but are, I think, it allows the consumer an insight into a world that the larger brands kind of lose, because this is really a part of who you are. It highlights your passion in a way that people can connect to you, you know, and, you know, thank you for that, because, you know, it's hard in an industry where we get lost with there's so many brands. This is something that, again, we were so happy to highlight this in a pairing because we knew, and I told Joe, I go, Carolina Blue, we need to get them on in a pairing because I know this cigar is going to pair well. I didn't realize that Joe was going to bring on Joe McEwen and this High and Wicked expression that truly blew me away. And I'll be buying a bottle of that without question. So make sure it's here in Florida, Joe McEwen.
Oh, absolutely.
Don't go shortchanging us here in Florida. We need it. Hey, Kyle, what happened? Do you fall asleep at the helm there? You just left Carolina Blue. What are we just looking at Carolina Rose?
I thought we were getting ready to roll the dice here.
People are still talking.
So let's roll the dice because we are ready. Chris is ready. Joe is ready, and the rest of us are ready.
Jenna's ready. Jenny's been ready. Let's go, Jenna.
Everybody's ready. Let's see. Roll the dice and see who the hell our winner is.
Here we go. Look at that.
Oh, look at all these people. They're all on the edge of their seat. I can see it. Bruce again.
Get out of here, Bruce. Get out of here.
That's our man, Bruce. Bruce is a long-time listener, and let me tell you about Bruce.
Look at that fucking steak.
Is Bruce here? Bruce has got a comment.
Oh yeah,
Bruce.
Bruce.
You gotta say I'm here. Bruce, don't leave us, because otherwise you're gonna get shafted.
And then let us know about that steak.
Yeah, you gotta be present. Gotta be present.
We're gonna do the 10-second countdown.
Who's got the countdown?
9.
I think he went to the washroom.
He went to the washroom.
He took the blue pill. 7.
Bruce takes a little bit longer.
5. 4.
Where is Bruce?
Oh, Bruce is here.
There he is.
What a lucky son of a gun.
Here. There's Bruce. He made it here. He's
We almost lost the steak too. Terrible.
We get a fifth of a bottle of High and Wicked.
And Joey's old pair of sneakers.
And Joey gets
and a couple of baby ciders just throw in there.
And I'll throw in some Maduros too.
Nice. Nice.
Beautiful.
Bruce, you're gonna enjoy
I think Bruce
that.
said he was on his last one too.
That's right.
Yeah, very good. Congrats, Bruce. Very nice.
Wow.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Chris. Thank you very much. This is a special pairing. The article on the pairing is going to drop. What month are we in? I don't even. I'm so sleep deprived.
May? We're in May.
This will drop in April.
June.
April 1st.
June. No, what are you fucking 2 months behind?
No. I gotta put all this shit in AI and let it, push it back.
Jenna, slap him inside his head, will you? He needs a good slapping.
Come June, okay?
No, what are you, 2 months behind?
Don't throw me under the bus.
Okay? It was a greyhound. It was a greyhound.
We're in May. It'll come out in June. Okay, June 5th. All right.
All right,
June 5th article. WhiskeyNetwork.net.
Thank you, everyone. Go. Jenna, thank you for your expertise.
Thank you for having me.
Joe McEwen, what can we say?
What can we say?
Other than this is a great expression, and we will be purchasing it. And Chris,
push for more. Push, Joe. Really, push for more stuff, man. You can't just
High and Wicked on the show. That was the bourbon we did with the Belladama.
That's right.
Cigar.
That's right.
That show, if you look it up, that was a shit show.
That was a shit show.
Yeah, the entire time, I almost got divorced because of it.
Yes. He wasn't even married. He wasn't even married. He wasn't even married at the time.
Exactly. Who cares? Everybody's doing it.
We'll talk to Chantel about that again.
No,
but Joe, push for it.
Mr. Moore.
Mr. Moore. More cigars.
More. Keep coming.
We want more.
We want more. Because we can't get enough.
We're going to have some more. I got like 4 more coming out.
Nice.
And that's the only reason why I didn't go to PCA. I was busy getting those together. I don't like to
lose anything. Joe, Chris, let me tell you, honestly, you didn't lose out on anything. You got to come to the Chicago International Pipe Show with the Cigar Emporium. Save a lot of money. A lot of money because a lot of little guys, they lost everything.
Let me know when. Let me know when it is. Let me know when it is.
First weekend in May for the next 10 years.
Okay.
In Chicago, it's right. Free ride from the airport to the hotel.
Free ride. Ronnie's going to drive you there.
No, it's a shuttle. I'm not.
I'm going to pick them up on my Segway.
You're going to pick you up from your house and drive you right
there. Pick up the Segway and put you on his back. No problem. Handcuffed. But think about that. Honestly, save your money. PCA was a beat for many, many smaller companies. I can tell you that right now because I know.
Oh, yeah. I you know, PCA is great for the big guys. You know, you really have to already have customers when you walk in the door. It's kind of like fishing. You know, you keep fishing until you get the big catch, and then you know it's a lot of time and effort. I figured I could put my money in something better, and like I said, we're gonna definitely, all the people that's wondering where it is, we will be in your town near you or city near you very, very soon. That is definitely on my agenda to take the cigar industry by storm.
Chris, this horse on the back of the bottle is just missing the unicorn.
That's all right. Leave the unicorn off, Joe. Don't worry about it. Don't listen to Joe. No.
It does need one. It doesn't need one.
This is by itself fabulous, but you got to get more production. Tell the big boys you want more productionists. Do not make it limited. I'm telling you, this is big.
Yeah. It's real good. I've been really exploring a lot of bourbons and whiskeys, and this is something that I'll definitely jump into.
Right,
more
get on the high and wicked train, man, because they're putting out some amazing expressions. I know my guy Joe. I trust him. Like I said, he used to sell me whiskey back in the day, and this is the guy you trust when it comes to selecting your whiskey.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm taking the whiskey to 0.
Yeah.
And this is going down to the nub.
Oh yeah.
Because this cigar
that's Frank. Oh my God, you're still a vacuum.
Yeah, we're going down to the nub on this baby.
Oh yeah.
This is what I like to call spectacular. Joey, thank you very much for producing yet another fantastic pairing. And to all our guests, we wish you nothing but the best this year and every year following. And we'll see everybody at some point next month.
We'll get them all back again, one way or another.
We'll get you all back. Thank you so much, Jenna, for your expertise.
Jenna, what do you think? You're going to come back on the show sometime?
Yeah.
Of course.
All right. We need your expertise.
We do. We do.
I'm not an expert at all.
Because Joey's lacking.
I need a little supplemental here. You know what I mean?
I'll talk with you anytime.
Well, to everyone, good night. And
happy Memorial Day, everybody.
Happy Memorial Day, folks.
Good night,
everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye now.
All right.
Great.
Tell my brothers to line them up. We'll drink that whiskey from those old dirty cups. We'll toast to the present, the future, and the past. This ain't my first drink, but I sure it ain't my last. 'Cause this world is so beautiful. I see its love come shining through. This world is so beautiful. I feel its love come shining through.